So 3 days of GFF is over now, and we have with us the people who were responsible for it. The brain behind the GFF is here. First, I will start with Gaurav. Gaurav, 3 extraordinary days. The kind of crowd was there. Will you give some stats what actually happened at Global Fintech Fest?
Yeah, I'm very happy to share that the industry participated wholeheartedly, and we had over 900 speakers. We had these speakers over 30 plus countries. We had overall 65,000 footfall. We also, not only the participation of audience, we created a lot of content, thought leadership for the industry. We had 22 reports and 81 white papers that we released at this GFF this year. In addition to this, there were over 2 billion worth of investment conversations which happened between the investors and the startups. And we had participation from multiple regulators from across countries as well.
Right. So you have thrown a lot of stats. Now I'm coming to collaborations. That was one thing which was outlier in this event, particularly this time compared to last year. Will you please talk about it?
Yeah, thanks. So this time the event actually was a Global Fintech Festival, right? Gaurav said that we had 30 countries, but this is 30 country speakers. If you actually talk about the number of delegates, dignitaries and regulators, we had over 100 countries who participated in it. What we have had extensive conversations with peoples of all these countries that they want to increase this involvement a lot deeper in the next edition. So what is happening is we are shaping the future of fintech, and we will have probably 125 to 150 countries visiting us or participating with it in the next event that will happen.
Rightly said. Now I'm coming to Mr. Naveen Surya, who is a known face in the fintech industry. You are happy with the outcome this time? The time you would have seen when Governor was speaking, there was no space to stand. And plus, these 4 launches, do you think this will impact the payment industry particularly for a long time?
I think the entire fintech sector, and not just Governor's session, it was extraordinary with the product launch, even FM session, you would have seen. Both the sessions, and this is something which we have taken as a note for improvement, but the number of people standing for the entire session between hour to hour and a half was really overwhelming for us. So it means that every time we are estimating, we are proven that you're underestimating. So for an example, if you remember, we spoke briefly in between, even at the time of our press conference about the event. We were expecting about 50,000 footfalls in 3 days, but we ended up having 65,000 plus people here.
Right.
And again, something which has happened for the first time in any event probably of this nature, that you had across 3 days $2 billion worth of investment getting influenced, right, across categories. Right. Whether you take startup, whether you take growth stage, whether you take pre-IPO, everything is getting discussed right here. And ultimately our objective was to put India as a thought leader in a fintech space, right, create a platform where the whole world can come and contribute and participate with us. And as Deval gave you the statistics, as Gaurav gave you the statistics, I think we have started getting there. So I'm extremely happy to see that in terms of scale and the numbers, we are already the largest across the globe. I think the next bit that we will do is now improve collaboration part, global part, which has already started. I think you will see probably 2x jump in that next year, as you saw probably 3+x jump from the last year in this event. And thanks all my media friends for this time overwhelming supporting, and we expect the same support next year.
I like the fact that you are so confident due to the response this time. I want to also understand about one of the problems which I discussed with many delegates and speakers as well, is the cost issue. They have expressed that this is something which is stopping the industry. Do you see some solution in near future?
Cost for what? Sorry,
cost
I didn't understand.
Payment industry.
I don't think so. Okay, so I think there is a confusion.
Yeah.
I thought payment industry in the world, India is the cheapest. In fact, we are probably now the only country which is subsidizing the payment like UPI.
That is there.
Right?
That is there.
So,
for sure.
So I'm a bit confused. The only cost that got discussed during the kind of 3-day event was probably in areas of international remittances, because there are some inefficiencies there, right? Maybe certain credit products, that how can we even make it more efficient for certain segments and certain segments. If you see those 2 products, yes, but otherwise I don't think there is any country in the globe at that scale, at this cost, you can deliver. And that's where we have been, one cause that we've been telling again and again and why we want to collaborate, that India is the only country which is building solutions for 2/3 of excluded population across the globe. There is no other country which has this kind of a scale, technology and a solutions which can be delivered at scale at the lowest cost. So what we do is as relevant probably in US and as relevant in Africa or any other country, and even in India, the lowest part. So those are evolving, and eventually we want to collaborate on those front and deliver the probably most economical, best solutions to the world.
One of the part of governor's speech, and he has given a clear direction that make an SRO, and there is a clear deadline. How soon do you think the process will begin? And do we also see that digital lending was something which the rules were formed, but it is not implemented completely due to lack of regulation? There are few areas which are yet to be fulfilled. How soon do you see that these gaps getting fulfilled and SRO being formed?
So let's just first take the SRO question. So if you see, SRO are two types. One which are voluntary, which is already done by the associations. If I go back even from a PCI days, very early days, one of the key role of the industry association was being SRO itself, right? But it was voluntary. It did not have any specific empowerment or authorization from any regulators. So for an example, if let's say the PPI could have been a non-KYC instrument, you would do the transaction, but you couldn't authenticate whether it's a valid transaction. A lot of people were not using, let's say, even an OTP web authentication, but we realized there are a lot of frauds. So industry got together, even RBI saw this as a concern. We found a solution that every wallet player has to do a wallet authentication, which today is a norm. It's acceptable norm. Nobody can talk about it, right? Even second factor authentication. While RBI framed the rule, the implementation side was supported by the industry. If you talk about even velocity checks, so there are multiple examples. Same thing is happening in FCC with rest of the world beyond payments. Now, Governor Sir has talked about formalizing this arrangement. Probably they've seen the progress, they have more confidence in the ability of the industry to work with them under their guidance, to bring the entire ecosystem, whether regulated, not regulated, directly, indirectly, to work together on certain critical areas and start framing best practices, start framing the standards. A lot of these small things, like I gave you an example, they keep emerging with the innovation pace, with the new products coming in. So that's a piece we are working. But at the same time, because the industry is very dynamic, there are multiple segments. We are all working within the industry groups to figure out how best the structure can be formed. Same way we are working with, let's say, regulators through the industry forum to see that what kind of guidance they have. How do we go about it? There'll have to be a roadmap to be evolved, because you can't achieve everything on a day one. But we are very confident, as Governor Sir said, that before GFF 24, we will surely have something already out with their blessings and guidance.
Thank you so much for talking to us, and all the best to each one of you for next year, because I guess the planning has already started. Thank you so much for watching us.
Thank you.
Thank you.